Just because you don't hear me doesn't mean I'm not moving. Let's get one thing straight right now. Silence is not absence. Just because you can't hear me doesn't mean I'm not speaking. Just because you can't see me doesn't mean I'm not near. And just because you don't feel me doesn't mean I've left you. I'm still here. You've cried in the dark, wondering where I went. You've prayed with no answer and assumed I wasn't listening. You've waited and waited, and the silence made you question everything. But child, you're confusing stillness with inactivity. You're misreading quiet as distance. Let me tell you the truth. I do my best work in silence. You think because the room is silent, I've stopped speaking. But the surgeon doesn't talk when he's operating. The sculptor doesn't explain every move while chiseling. And the author doesn't read the book out loud while he's still writing it. You are in the middle of a holy operation. I'm not ignoring you. I'm refining you. I'm setting things in motion that require silence to succeed. You want noise to feel safe. You want volume to feel secure. But I'm not raising a child who lives by feeling. I'm building a warrior who walks by faith. I see what you don't see. I'm orchestrating answers behind doors you don't know exist. While you're looking for a shout, I'm sending a shift. This silence? It's not empty. It's pregnant with purpose. So stop panicking. Stop assuming I've abandoned you. Stop letting the silence lie to you. I'm still in the room. I'm still on the throne. And I'm still working. Even in the quiet. Let me remind you how I work. Seeds don't sprout in the sunlight. They sprout in darkness. Roots don't grow in noise. They grow in silence. And miracles don't begin with applause. They begin in hidden places where no one's watching. You want me to move out loud, but I move deep first, before I move wide. I'm not in a rush to impress you. I'm on a mission to transform you. So if you're in a season where everything feels buried, don't panic. I buried you like a seed, not like a corpse. You're not in a grave. You're in ground. You're not forgotten. You're being formed. You cried out, "God, where are you?" And I whispered, "Right here, growing things in secret, because deep roots are what keep trees from falling in the storm. And I'd rather build you to last than give you something fast. Stop cursing the darkness. I planted you there on purpose. And when the time is right, when the root is deep enough, when the soil has done its work, you won't just rise, you'll bloom. Even if no one sees it yet. I do. Even if it feels silent. I'm still speaking through the soil. Because in the dark, I'm working. I never promised you goosebumps. I never said you'd always feel me. I said, the just shall live by faith. That means there will be days when your emotions are silent. But your spirit still has to walk. You keep waiting for a sign to move. But I'm waiting for your faith to rise. You ask, God, why does it feel like you're gone? I ask, why do you trust your feelings more than my word? Feelings are unstable. One moment you're on fire. The next you're frozen in doubt. But faith isn't fragile. Faith stands even when your heart shakes. And that's what I'm building in you right now. You wanted comfort. I wanted character. You wanted clarity. I wanted commitment. I don't want children who follow me only when I shout. I want warriors who obey even when I whisper. So if you're walking through silence, know this. I'm training you, not punishing you, not rejecting you, training you. I'm breaking your addiction to emotion. I'm anchoring you in truth. Because when the storm hits, feelings won't hold you, but faith will. I know it's hard, but the faith I'm forming in you won't crack under pressure. You'll come out of this able to say, I don't need a sign. I have his promise. I don't need to feel it. I believe him anyway. That's what separates the crowds from the chosen. So don't run from the silence. Rise in it. Do you know what comes before resurrection? Stillness. Do you know what surrounded the tomb? Silence. 3 days. No sound. No explanation. No answer. But I wasn't panicking. I was preparing glory. Child, you're living in the space between it is finished and he is risen. That place feels lifeless. It feels quiet. It feels like nothing is happening. But in the spirit realm, everything is shifting. You see stillness. I see setup. You see silence. I see strategy. You think I've forgotten you, but I'm about to reveal what couldn't happen any other way. Remember Lazarus? 4 days of silence before I showed up. Why did I wait? Because they needed to see a resurrection, not just a healing. And some of you are praying for quick relief, but I'm preparing a greater glory. I know what I'm doing. Don't misinterpret my delay as denial. Don't confuse my silence with abandonment. This quiet season, it's not punishment, it's prelude. And when I move, when I open the grave, when I break the silence, it'll be so loud, you'll forget you ever doubted. So wait for it. Worship in the quiet and get ready, because glory is coming. You keep asking God, why aren't you saying anything? But who told you I only speak in words? Who told you I stopped speaking? Just because the volume changed. I speak in more ways than your ears can hear. I speak through closed doors. I speak through redirection. I speak through divine delays, sudden peace, deep conviction, and even discomfort. I speak through people you didn't expect, and through silence you didn't want. You're so used to noise that you forgot. Silence has a voice too. Do you know what silence says? It says, trust me. It says, wait right here. I'm working. It says, I already told you what to do. Now walk in it. You want new instructions. I want obedience to the last one I gave you. You want fresh revelation. I want deep trust. I am not your entertainer. I am your God. And sometimes, I'll stop speaking just to see if you've learned to walk by what I already said. Remember this. When the teacher is silent, it means you're in the middle of a test. Don't panic. You're not abandoned. You're being evaluated. You're not being ignored. You're being prepared. I still speak, but I speak on my terms, not yours. I'll shout if I need to, but sometimes I'll whisper. And sometimes, I'll let the silence preach a deeper message than words ever could. So listen, not just with your ears, but with your spirit, because even when I'm quiet, I'm not done talking. You're frustrated with my silence. But what if I told you, it's saving your life? You keep asking me to open a door, and I keep locking it shut. Not because I'm cruel, but because I see what you can't. I see the trap behind the opportunity. I see the heartbreak behind the relationship. I see the storm behind the shortcut. And when I'm quiet, I'm often shielding you. You thought delay meant denial, but it was defense. You thought unanswered prayer meant I didn't care, but it was me stepping in and stopping what you didn't see coming. You pray for favor, but favor without protection is dangerous. So instead of explaining every move, I sometimes say nothing and simply block the danger, because I'd rather you be disappointed for a moment than destroyed for a lifetime. You see silence. I see mercy. You see unanswered prayers. I see answered ones you didn't even know you needed to pray. So next time the silence falls heavy, remember who I am. I am your defender, your shield, your father, and I will always protect you, even if it means staying silent to do it. You keep asking me to change the situation. But what if I'm using the situation to change you? I know you want me to fix what's broken around you, but my first priority is to heal what's broken within you. This silence you're in, it's not a punishment. It's a process. It's not about withholding answers. It's about developing depth. You want breakthrough, but I want to build something in you that will outlast the battle. I'm not interested in temporary comfort. I'm after eternal transformation. So I'm stripping away the noise, tearing down the idols, breaking your dependency on feelings, people, platforms, and pride. I want your heart, not just your routine, your character, not just your comfort. And sometimes, that work can only happen when it's quiet, because when you can't hear me out loud, you're forced to listen within. And that's where the real transformation begins. I'm teaching you to recognize my presence, even when I'm not performing. I'm training your soul to rest, not just react. I'm revealing what you've built your life on, and showing you where I need to rebuild. You think I'm far, but I'm actually closer than I've ever been. I'm not just moving in your surroundings. I'm moving in your spirit. This isn't delay, this is surgery. And when I'm done, You won't just come out with a blessing. You'll come out different. You've been staring at this silence, like it's the end of your story. But who told you the story was over? Just because I've gone quiet doesn't mean I've stopped writing. I'm still holding the pen. I'm still turning the pages. And this chapter you hate, it's not the last one. I know you want to skip ahead. I know it feels like nothing's happening. But right now, you're standing between what was and what's about to become. You're not abandoned. You're in transition, and transitions are quiet. That's why it feels like I'm not speaking. That's why you feel stuck. Because I'm writing a divine plot twist. You thought it was over. You thought the best was behind you. You thought the silence meant the story stopped. But I'm not finished. Your story doesn't end in confusion. It ends in glory. And when you look back, you'll see why I had to pause the noise. You'll see why I didn't let you turn the page too soon. You'll see why the silence was necessary to set up the next sentence. So don't close the book. Keep reading. Keep walking. Keep trusting. Because the author is still writing, and the next chapter is going to make sense of everything. You've looked for me in the fire. You've searched for me in the wind. You've waited for the thunder, the miracle, the open door, but I wasn't in the noise. Just like with Elijah, I didn't show up in the earthquake. I didn't reveal myself in the storm. I came in the whisper. Why? Because whispers require closeness. I could shout. I could split the sky and speak in a way that would silence the world, but I'd rather draw you near. When everything gets quiet, when distractions are stripped away, that's when your ears begin to tune to the sound that matters most. Mine. You've been running on noise, crowd noise, social noise, emotional noise, religious noise. But I want to teach you how to hear me when no one else is around. You say, God, why are you whispering? Because I'm not trying to perform for the masses. I'm trying to reach your heart. You say, but I feel like I'm in the wilderness. And I say, that's where I took Moses, where I took John, where I took Jesus. Because the wilderness clears out the volume of the world. It's where I whisper identity. It's where I speak direction. It's where I remind you, you are mine. This silence you hate is the very space I'm using to deepen our connection. So lean in. Don't beg for noise. Search for me, because I'm still speaking. And if you'll get quiet enough, you'll hear my whisper change everything. You want it now. I see what's not ready yet. You're praying for doors to open. But what if I told you, I'm still building the room behind the door? You think silence means nothing's happening. But behind the scenes, I'm moving people, shaping hearts, shifting atmospheres, rerouting plans, and aligning divine timing. You see a pause. I see positioning. When Joseph sat in prison, it looked like nothing was changing. But what he couldn't see was that Pharaoh was having dreams. And in one divine moment, I connected them. That's how I work. What takes years in the natural, I can shift in a second. But I don't just care about results. I care about the right results, at the right time, for the right reason. You don't want a premature promise. You want a promise fully formed. So while you're waiting in silence, I'm preparing people to favor you. I'm preparing rooms that will receive you. I'm preparing timing that won't crush you. You think I've forgotten, but I'm fine-tuning the stage. Because when I launch you, it won't be small, so be patient. This isn't punishment. This is precision. And when I finally say go, everything will be ready. You say you trust me. But do you trust me when I'm quiet? It's easy to follow when the signs are clear. It's easy to praise when the blessings are visible. But real trust, unshakable trust, is built in the silence. When you can't trace my hand, will you still hold on to my heart? When the doors stay shut, when the prayers seem unanswered, when the heavens feel still, will you still say, God is good? Because I'm not training you for shallow belief. I'm building faith that survives the fire. Faith that doesn't flinch under pressure. Faith that declares, even if he's silent, I know he's still God. This silence isn't distance. It's a test. Not because I need to see who you are. I already know, but because you need to see how deep your trust goes. I've seen too many who only worship when the music is loud. I'm looking for those who worship when there's no music at all. Because if you can trust me in silence, you'll never be shaken by noise. You don't need more evidence. You need deeper trust. You don't need a louder voice. You need a stronger yes. And if you say yes, right here, right now, even in the stillness, you're gonna unlock a level of intimacy with me that few ever reach. So let the silence do its work. Let it train your faith. Let it anchor your soul. Because when you come out of this, you won't just trust me in comfort. You'll trust me in the unknown. You thought I was ignoring you. You thought I walked away. You thought silence meant absence. But now you see it, don't you? I was never silent. I was strategic. While you were panicking, I was positioning. While you were doubting, I was developing. While you were waiting, I was weaving all things together for your good. You cried in the stillness, but I was catching every tear. You stood in the quiet, but I was standing even closer. You didn't hear thunder, but you were surrounded by grace. You didn't see lightning, but heaven was moving with every whispered prayer. I don't waste silence. I use it to strip, to strengthen, to speak in ways you didn't expect. And now, you're stronger. Now, you see me differently. Now you trust deeper. That was the point all along. So don't fear the quiet seasons. Don't run from the stillness. Embrace them, because that's where I work best. Not in the noise, not in the spotlight, but in the silence, where I shape my greatest warriors.